Our dear teachers, welcome once again at Moran Publishers for our second webinar addressing creative activities, grade 1, 2, 3, and creative arts, grade 4. We are very, very much honored to have you once again. And today we are going to talk about teaching melody. So we are going to look at what to teach in the 4 levels we have mentioned and how to teach melody to the learners. So we shall focus on the content, and then we shall look at the how to teach, that is the teacher's action, and then the learner's action. So feel welcome. This webinar is organized by Moran Publishers as one of our responsibilities to empower you so that you can empower that learner for this century. So feel so much welcome. Now, before we move on, I would like us to say a word of prayer and commit this entire session to the Lord. Let's pray. Our loving Father, in the name of our Lord Jesus, we thank you, Lord God of all wisdom, the Lord God of all knowledge. We are here, Lord God, humbling ourselves before you, that you may teach us, Jehovah. You have prepared men and women to teach us. So, Lord God, use them as your vessels. And Lord, you have brought teachers, Lord my God, from all the counties of this country. Lord God, may you teach them by your Spirit. We honor you and glorify you in Jesus' name. Amen. So our esteemed teachers, I will introduce to you our presenters of today. Last week, we had Delphine Amimo, our own teacher of music, trainer in music. She also trains adults and learners different musical instruments. So I pray that you listen to her because she is our music guru and she's going to take us through melody. With us today, we have Mr. Paul Miner. Paul Miner here is a PE coach, trainer of trainers at the Teacher Training College, also a teacher of PE and a coach of sports. So Mr. Miner will take us through all the PE concepts or the PE skills that we could be experiencing challenges in. So our dear teachers, feel very much welcome. One of us, Mr. Geoffrey Lijodi, will be joining us later, but I would like you to feel so much welcome. Ask us as many questions as you would like to because we are here to answer them. I will give you a telephone number through which you can reach us. You can do a WhatsApp so that we can address your concern directly, or you can write to us on this wall, and then we shall respond to your questions. So the number to reach us on, I will type it. I will just type it. In the interest of time, I will type it as we move on. So just read our number and then talk to us so that we can address your concerns. Now, I would like us to move on. Before I say that, my name is Naima. I was your host last week, and I'm also your host today, Naima Kasim. I do publishing here at Moran Publishers, and so any query to Moran Publishers, you can address it to me. So therefore, we shall delve deeper into our presentations or our lessons of the day. And our first presenter is going to be Delphine Amimo on melody. So Delphine, kindly take it on. Delphine?
Thank you very much, Naima. Colleagues, fellow teachers. Hello. Can you hear me?
Check your network. Not clear?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, now you are clear. Delphine, check again. Delphine, come on. Our dear teachers, we shall give Delphine a minute or two to check her gadgets so that she can continue with her presentation on melody. And today, get ready to learn about melody for grade 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if at all there is any concern you would like us to address directly, please type in your concern so that at the end of Delphine's presentation, we can respond to your questions, or we can redirect our presentation to address you directly.
Hello. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, Delphine, put your video on. Okay, dear teachers, allow us to adjust our schedule as Delphine addresses the technical hitch she's facing. And I would like to ask Mr. Maina Hall, kindly prepare to address our PE issues so that we can make good use of our time. Mr. Maina?
Thank you, our host. I want to believe that you're getting me clearly, and I want to pray that Delphine issues will be sorted and she'll be able to make her presentation. Allow me to share what I have with you today concerning the teaching of physical education, of PE. We are aware that the area is now merged. I hope you can see my content. Naima, you can give me feedback that we are sharing. I want to share in the area of PE. I have taken one substrand, that is egg roll. And,
okay, Mr. Maina, sorry. Kindly minimize your other content. Minimize the other content on your screen so that we can only see your presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Have you done it? It has not yet.
Let me first of all stop sharing.
Okay.
And then I close the other tabs.
Close them and share the window.
Now I can share. Let me get feedback if it is okay.
Yes, Mr. Maina, that's clear.
It's okay. It is
yes,
okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Thank you. My area of focus this afternoon is on facilitation in creative activities, and barely I'm going to focus mostly on movement activities. I'll start with one quote that skills are not simply acquired. They are developed through exploration, repetition, and refinement under varying condition. Those are not my words. They are words of John Whiting, somebody who has done research in motor learning. And he is reminding us that we don't just acquire skill, they are developed. This afternoon, we are intending all our focus is on assisting teacher to develop skills in our learners through repetition, through exploration, and through refinement. And this can only happen if that the teaching of these skills is done in the proper way. So we are asking ourselves one big question: how do you prepare to teach movement activities? I've referred them as movement activities, knowing how broad or how there are many terms that you can use to refer to physical education, movement activities, movement science, all that. It all focuses on performing activities using our bodies. So this evening, we are calling to our teachers that the first thing they should do as they prepare to teach is to interact with the curriculum designs. This is the basic area where they should start. Interact with your curriculum design and establish the learning outcomes, suggested learning experiences, assessment modes, and key inquiry questions. At no one time, no matter how experienced you are, should you fail to focus on what is in curriculum design, because at the end of the day, there are the intended outcomes. They are there in that document, and the learning experiences are there. Everything is sorted there for you. Number two, you realize that the way the substrands are organized, there are expected number of lessons as per the substrand. And these lessons are mixed up. Previously, we would talk about art, we would talk about music, and then we would talk about physical education. You have to establish what number of lessons are there in that substrand. And once you establish that, you are able to allocate and sequence the lessons, knowing whether you'll start with the music, knowing whether you'll start with art, and then you proceed to physical education. That sequencing is very much important. Number three is that we have to unpack the substrate stated outcome into lesson outcomes. Many are times where you find that as teachers, we simply draw what is there in the substrate or in the design. We are supposed to look at that learning outcome and see how do I break it down. Like you may have a learning outcome that by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to perform maybe egg roll and swan balance. We have such a learning outcome in grade 2. You have now to separate egg roll. You have to separate it from the swan balance and develop lessons that are fast.
Sorry, Mr. Maina, kindly move
Yes.
your slides as you do the presentation.
Yes, I'll do so. Is
Your
it not
slides are
moving?
not moving. We are still on the first page.
Has it moved?
No, we are still on the first page.
Oh. I'm moving. I'm wondering why. Do I have that?
Click on the particular slide on the left side of the presentation.
Is it moving?
Yes. Now that is the second slide. Okay.
Yeah, I go to the third slide, yeah?
Okay.
That is the one that I want to focus on. I have said
click
that
on
first.
the third one. Okay.
Yeah. Is it there?
Yes, Mr. Maina.
Okay. I said that, and allow me to repeat, that as you prepare to teach movement activities, all PE, one interact with the design, establish the learning outcomes, get the suggested learning experiences, assessment modes, and key inquiry question. And I said that is basic in each and every learning area. I will not emphasize much. Number two, I said that establish the number of expected lessons in your substrand of focus so that you are able to sequence your presentations, whether you'll start with a music concept, then an art concept, and then a physical education concept. You will be able to allocate lessons that way. Number three, I say that you unpack the substrate stated lesson outcome, substrate stated outcome into lesson outcomes. You realize in the design, it focuses about substrate. And I want to give an example. In a grade 2, we have an outcome that states that by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to perform movement, to perform swan balance and egg roll for skill acquisition. You realize now those are two concepts together and they cannot be taught at once. You separate that one. And that is what I'm saying, unpack the substrate stated outcome into lesson outcome. Now, then check the key inquiry question or questions that are available in the design. And at this point, you may be forced to develop your own key inquiry question that you may suit your situation, your situation. So it is not a must you follow that. You can develop, since you have unpacked, then you can simply focus on what you have unpacked and present that. Still asking ourselves, how do you prepare to teach movement activities? Remember, we say that when you're teaching physical education, you must make use of resources. So you assemble or improvise the required resources for your lesson plan. The lesson plan, the lesson that I'm going to focus on is on egg roll. I'm asking myself, or I did ask myself, what resources do I require? And these resources may vary from cones, mats, group markers, and such. So this one must be identified area as early as possible. Still in your preparation, you need to review the digital content or browse the internet for the intended lesson, outcome. We need to ensure that you have the right content from the word go. If there is a video that you want to check and it's not available, kindly get that from the internet. We in Moran, we have provided books. We have books for grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4. We are guiding you to read that print material in the learner's book and see what is it that we have offered. The content that we have offered in those books is filtered or is selected, and it addresses the necessary skills. So we'll guide you that read through the learner's books and also look at the available digital content or browse from the internet to get more content. Now, still, many of us or many teachers are getting confused on how to handle PE. Initially, we have been doing entirely practical lessons, but now you feel that there is need to have theory and to have practical lesson, depending on the nature of content. I want to believe that we have asked that when Kenya National Examinations Council tests these activities, not all of them are coming in theory. Some are in practicals, some are in theory. So you may develop theory lessons and practical lessons. I have developed a practical lesson for today. But for this practical lesson, know that you need to prepare your learners adequately to have in time so that they are in proper attire. This may not be a problem in big schools, or in very well established schools, but in remote schools, this may be a problem. Number 5, as you prepare, you need to determine how to group your learners using the most appropriate criteria. Group work is core to physical education. And you need to come up with the appropriate criteria to group your learners. Are you going to group boys together only, girls only? Are you going to mix? What criteria are you going to use? You understand your learners better. Use the most suitable criteria and come up with 4 groups. Those are basic in physical or in movement activities. Finally, in this area of preparation, you need to determine the mode of assessment. We say whatever is not measured cannot be achieved. We need to measure the level of achievement. And I had stated earlier that the design provides various modes of the department of assessment. It is up to the teacher to determine which is the most appropriate mode of assessment. We have a repertoire of that. The teacher may decide to use written questions, oral questions, use a checklist, use a portfolio, depending on what he finds most appropriate for that lesson. Now, let me now focus about a basic lesson that addresses a PE skill in creative arts. The slide that you have looks at the administrative details, then the introductions. It gives us a summary of what a PE lesson entails. I want to look at these one by one. So in the next few minutes, I'll be focusing on what is it that we refer as to administrative details. What is it that we refer to introduction? What is it that we refer to as lesson development? Where we have a step 1, a step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Step 1 talks about warm-up. Step 2, lesson skill. Step 3, group activities. Step 4, simulation. Then 5, conclusion, which I'm referring as cool down and learners feedback. Then 6, extended activities, and then reflection. Luckily, when we look at other lessons, they will all have administrative details, they will have introduction, then they will have presentation, they will have those steps, and then they will have conclusion. We agree that is an area that is standardized. But what is unique in physical education is about group activities and the simulation activity. Now, that is a table showing us the administrative details. I don't want to emphasize on this because it cuts across. It indicates your school, your learning area, the year, the term, and the teacher's details. Let me not focus much on that because it cuts across the board. Still on that, following the administrative details, we have the content that I have placed on the slide. One is the strand. In your lesson, state the strand. Where are you getting your content from? The curriculum design. So like I've gotten content from performing and displaying, and then the substrand is egg roll and so on balance. I'm focusing simply on egg roll. Come up with the suitable lesson outcomes. Like I have stated, by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to, 1, identify different directions that body moves and faces when performing egg roll through practice. So it's about performing egg roll and direction. Then 2 is perform egg roll moving forward and backwards. It's still giving us concept of the directionality. And then the last one is appreciation. Basically here, as teachers, we need to remember that the first learning outcome should simply focus on knowledge, the other one should focus on skill, and the other one should focus on attitude, like I have done so. Then look at your key inquiry question. You need to have Like I've asked, how can one perform? It should not be forward roll. We need to correct that. How can one perform egg roll? Sorry, I beg your indulgence. How can one perform egg roll? And this one can be used after when I'll show where we use this key inquiry question, but it should be repeated often in the lesson such that it keeps learners on focus where they are going, or what is the skill of focus, and they keep meditating and thinking about that skill as they go on. Have your suggested learning resources. Design is core, playground or space, maths. You may add at this point group markers. You may have cones and other assorted resources that you feel are important. From that, let us now focus on actual on the actual presentation. And I want to start with the lesson development. You may realize it's as if I have skipped the introduction. In the introduction, you aim to tell the learners what is it that we are going to do and how are they going to behave. What do you expect them to do in that lesson? In the introduction, you may review what you did. And I think it is important. Review what you did and create a linkage. Explore what they know about what they are going to come or to perform that day. So that then you come to the step one of the lesson where we are performing warm-up activities. Our teachers, this is a very important step in the lesson, performing warm-up. We need not, and this is a universal rule, we need not engage in strenuous movement activities before we prepare our bodies adequately. Similarly, this should be applied to our learners, whichever level, whether it is grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, or grade 4. It cuts across the board. There is a universal rule that there are 2 types of warm-up that you may perform. I don't want to be very strict on that, but the first one refers to the general warm-up. You realize that if you are jogging or running or sprinting or jumping up and down, you are using all parts of the body. Any activity that uses the whole body is referred to as a general warm-up. And for this lesson, I'm talking about it should take not more than 5 minutes. Involve your learners into light jogging, light jogs, animal movements like bear crawl, crab walking. This will engage their main muscles and they will warm up. Remember, they should be light. They should not be strenuous. They should be exciting, because this also it's like a set induction in other lessons. So as they warm up, make those activities important. Also have activities that allow learners to stretch. Stretching is important because it improves the elasticity of the muscles. This we remember that I can say in principle that warming up reduces injuries. That is basic, and it improves performance. You want your learners to perform better, let them warm up. And making muscles more elastic or improving their elasticity, making joints more flexible using dynamic stretches like arm circles, toe touches, gentle twists that prepares their body for the strenuous activity that is ahead. You may involve your learners in short games. Have kids rock their back falls on their backs as they in attacked position. Can you create a simple game that they do as they are rocking, they are down? Engage them in such rocking activity, and I'm sure that will prepare their bodies accurately. Now, step 2 in this lesson development is the lesson skill. Our lesson skill of the day is egg roll. Bring the key inquiry question at this point. How can one perform an egg roll? Our teachers, you realize that the content that is in front of you is drawn directly from the learner's book, because we have a step which tells us how. It tells us how. And get those words. It tells us how the activity is done. It gives us the progression of performing the activity. It from the point one to the last point. And for the egg roll, this matter, you advise or you get this content from grade 2, book, page 77. Lie on a mat or a grassy field, move your knees near your chest, and place your arms around them in a tuck position. That word is technical. If we can start preparing our learners to understand those terms, because I know they come from different background, and maybe I know even some seniors may not understand what a tuck position is. It is when you coil your body into a ball and bring head down. That is what we call a tuck position. Move your chin near the chest, keeping your shoulders off the ground. Yeah. So in that way, your body ends up resembling an egg. And from there, you can roll and bring the concept of directionality. Roll to the left, you can ask them to roll once or twice, and then roll to the right. So remember, when this is being done, it should be done in a certain formation. It should be in a semicircle, and the teacher should be at the center. Yeah, the teacher at the center, ensuring that each and every learner has a view and can hear what the teacher is saying. So you don't take guesswork at this point, because this is where you are delivering the core information on how the activity is performed. So after doing so, you will demonstrate or give a learner an opportunity to demonstrate. Yeah, demonstrate or give one or two learners an opportunity to demonstrate. This activity is the most important. After that, just allow 1 minute or two for your learners to try out how is this egg roll performed. So you'll allow them to roll once, twice, and once they have rolled, you'll need then again to call them back into the semicircle and give direction on the next step. And that step is the step on about group activities. Ladies and gentlemen, as I focus on group activities, I want to believe that those who have gone through the teacher training system, and all of us, I want to believe those who have done physical education, remember that group activities are core because they help bring the aspects of cooperation, which are so emphasized in CBC. Communication and collaboration is enhanced at this level. And we are saying that a basic class should have 4 groups. I know some of us will raise questions. What do we do when we have more than a standard class? I know some classes are bloated. They have more than 40 learners that are prescribed. I don't know whether it has changed to 50. I think it has changed to 50 learners. But you'll still find that in some areas, there are more than such learners. So I'm telling us that have the 4 groups that are the basic. Group 1 or group A, let them perform the skill of the day, and that is egg roll. The skill of the day comes at group 1. During the group activities, kindly as a teacher give more attention to this area, because that is where the learners are learning the new skill. Group 2, I have indicated kicking a ball using the top of the foot. You realize that in our design, these are the skills that are taught previously. There is a certain sequence that is there. They are the skills that were taught previously. So there is a skill of the day, the previous skill, the skill that was taught the other day. So I have reversed them in that order. So group A will do an egg roll. Group B will do a skill that was taught yesterday, that is kicking the ball using the top of the foot. Group C will do the skill that was done the other day, hopping backwards, turning the body round, and then D will do hopping backwards. Just take about a minute and a half in each, and then allow these runners to rotate. Why should they rotate? And the rotation direction is clockwise, to ensure that each and every runner gets an opportunity to perform this activity. Let me ask an obvious question. Why should we include activities that were taught previously in our group activities? See, the answer is simple. Remember what we said, what John Whiting said, that it is about repetition. It's about practice. We need to create more opportunities for practice of what was taught previously. And if that is repeated, maybe in 4 or 5 lessons, we want to believe that these learners will perform those skills better. That is why you must revisit what you did yesterday, the other day, and the other day, like that within a lesson. So I've insisted that let's allow these learners to rotate so that they can all have the experiences in each group. Encourage these learners to talk. Do not coerce them, no, to keep quiet and just perform. Allow them to talk, to perform as they talk to each other. This promotes communication and collaboration. And we know that this is a key competence that needs to be developed in our learners. Provide digital resources to the learners to take photos with their peers. If you have decided that you are going to have portfolios of these learners taking photos, then you need to provide these resources. Some of them may be taking pictures, and at the end of the day, you'll find that learners will be excited to see the pictures that they take during this lesson. And this have a digital. Madam Naima. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Maina.
Yes, you are getting me. Am I still on live?
Yes, you are still live. Now you need to wind up so that we can move on to music.
Thank you. I only have 1 or 2 slides.
Okay.
So I was talking about, thank you for that update. Let me wind up. So I've insisted that provide those digital resources at that time. Again, if you're using a checklist, can you focus on group A and using the checklist that you have developed, assess your learners at that level, at that time. And lastly, there is a simulation. Simulation is simply a game. Have a game that is related to what they were doing. If I was teaching this lesson, my learners could have done egg relay. Egg relay is in their book. How egg roll relay, sorry. Egg roll relay. That is what they could have done. They can do a roll and freeze, obstacle course, like I have guided. As they roll, they are still practicing the skill that they did. Allow me to focus on conclusion. Conclusion is about cooling down. It's about learners performing slow movements to reduce the excitement that they had before they go back to class and to make them adjust their physiological systems as they go back to class. You can also ask them 1 or 2 questions to talk about what they have done. At what part of the egg roll was tricky? Which parts of the body did you use? What did you find interesting? Let them give you feedback on that area. And finally is the issue of reflection. And remember, we are CBE now, teachers, we are meant to be reflective teachers. Reflection is very important question. Ask yourself the 3 questions that I've presented. What went on well in the lesson? And this should be clear to you, and it should be a soul-searching process. what went on well in the lesson. State it. What did not go on well? If there is something that you find that was not adequate, bring it to your attention, and then which area require improvement. You do that, then you'll be able to refocus on the other lesson. Due to the time, allow me to say that to give you a flyer that some of PE teachers like us use, and I know you use, that I'm more interested in your attitude and effort than your talent. You realize that we have learners that are talented, but they have a poor attitude. You realize that some of us as teachers, we have the talent, but we do not have the proper attitude and we do not put effort. I want to believe that my presentation impacts positively on your attitude and allows you to put effort in teaching of physical education and shaping the lives of our CBE learners. Thank you, Madam Naima, for that opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Paul Maina. Our dear teachers, as I was introducing Mr. Maina, he's a trainer of teachers at currently at Moran Teachers Training College, and I know he has taught some of you. Previously, he was in Kisumu. The name of the Teachers Training College is a bit difficult for me, but I know he was there. And Kigali Teachers Training College, just doing PE. And I love what he has concluded with, attitude. We know that PE is whereby learners bring their attitude, their values at play. And it is at that time that we correct those beliefs that are there. We correct them and steer them to the right direction. And I know teachers are wondering, our schools do not have swimming pool. We don't have swimming pools, and yet swimming is in the curriculum design. What should we do? Mr. Maina will respond to that at the end of this presentation. I know you have been waiting so much to hear melody. Not that PE is lesser, but we know where the shoe hurts. And therefore, I would like Delphine to come on board. I believe, Delphine, your gadgets are now okay. Kindly come on board.
Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Thank you.
Give us the music.
Okay. Thank you once again, colleagues and fellow teachers. And I'm so glad that we are able to meet like this. My apologies again for the mishap, but we will be able to get this done in the time that we have. And just to remind us, those of us who are able to join us last time, we are picking up from where we left off, where we were talking about the rhythm. We were talking about rhythm from grade 1 to grade 4. We were talking about what the learner can do, what the teacher can help the learner to do. And while, just a minute. Okay, please confirm you can see my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we
Move
can
on
see your
to the
screen.
next one. The first one is blank. Yes.
There. Okay. So last time we were talking about rhythm, and so we're going to pick up from there. Rhythm and melody, like I mentioned last time, are siblings. They work together. Like I said, for anyone to be able to sing, they need rhythm, they need melody. For everyone to play an instrument, they need rhythm, they need melody. So if we are able to guide our learners early enough to get them right, then we are good to go. So I'll go straight to melody. As you can see, just like in rhythm, we are going to break down the design at every level very fast, because this, I believe, these specific learning outcomes, you have seen them in your curriculum designs, so they are not new to us. After this, that is when now I will break down for you the activities and experiences you can take your learners to. So in grade 1, under melody, the learners are supposed to identify sounds, melodic or non-melodic, for oral discrimination. The learners are supposed to orally recognize like and unlike passages in short melodies. Learners are supposed to echo simple melodic patterns by singing or humming for oral skill development. And then learners are supposed to enjoy replicating melodic passages for oral discrimination. As you can see, these are big terms for a grade 1 learner. So as a teacher, you must be able to break it down into content that they can relate to. And we're going to see how to do that. Grade 2, they are to identify melodic variations in simple tunes for oral discrimination. They are to use basic shapes to represent melodic variations in a simple song. They are to improvise new words to existing tunes. They are to enjoy improvising text to tunes and then value melodic variation in creating melodies. Again, big words, but we are going to see how simple it is for a grade 2 learner to do that. Grade 3, they are to identify variations in a simple melodic pattern for oral skill development, create melodic patterns using improvised percussions, apply the directions for performing simple songs, and then enjoy creating. And finally, in grade 4, this is where, again, just like we saw in rhythm, they are being introduced to the meat of music itself. Now they are going to encounter the solfa syllables, what many of us have known and identified with over the years as we did music, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, but here they are restricted to do, re, mi. They are going to interpret hand signs for the solfas, and we're going to see what that is. Then qualities of a good melody, they are going to state so that they can use that to create their own melodies. Then there is a concept for art included here, where they will model clay slabs for solfa of the solfa syllables they have learned. Allow me, teachers, to take you through the scope again. I explained why the scope is important. Is so that you don't give learners information that is beyond their grasp. It may look simple to you because you have had it before, you've known it for long, but for the young learner, it is important to remain within the scope so that we only give them what is prescribed. So we have melodic sounds and then echoing melodic patterns. Grade 2, the scope is melodic variations, similar in different tunes, text improvisations, and basic shapes. Grade 3, variation in rhythm, in tempo, in volume, in text, and in pitch. Then melodic patterns on improvised percussions. And finally, in grade 4, what is our scope? We're going to look at the solfa syllables, only the first 3, not all of them. There are 3 total. So we're only looking at the first 3. Then the other one is the hand signs, which are named chordally hand signs. Then the qualities of a good melody, which for grade 4 learners are only 3. The others they will learn in higher grades. And then there is the slab and coil technique, which is an art concept. So how do we handle this in the classroom with the learners? So we'll start with grade 1. As you can see, number 1 representing grade 1. So the experiences that will help you tackle the first learning outcome of melodic and non-melodic sounds. To learners, you can do this by giving them the explanation first, or you can do the activity first. So what is the simplest definition of a melody for a grade 1 learner? Simply the tune of a song. That is all a grade 1 learner should know. What is melody? The tune of a song. So what I usually do is I give the learners, or I ask the learners to sing a simple familiar song, one they know very well. Then after they have sung it with the words, I instruct them again to sing, but now without the words. Whether they'll use a syllable, la, 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 or they will use humming, whichever method. Now they take out the words. So I tell them what remains of the song after you have removed the words is the tune, and that is now the melody. So you can do the activity first, where they sing the song, then sing without words, and then explain that that is a melody. Or you can explain the melody first so that when they are doing it, they understand exactly what they are doing. So melody is the tune of a song. That is how you introduce that. But how will they use that knowledge to get melodic sounds and non-melodic sounds? So melodic sounds, as the name suggests, is that which you can hear the tune, meaning you can sing along, or you can hum, or you can make the sounds change from high to low pitch. They are melodic sounds. And since this substrate comes after rhythm, you will use their understanding of rhythm to tell them that non-melodic sounds do not have a tune. They are mostly just beats or noise. If we think about the environment, and this is important, you can take the learners to look around and hear sounds in the environment, or you can use their previous experience of sounds in the environment, allowing them to talk about it as much as possible. You can also show pictures of items. You can also play back recorded sounds. And what are some of these sounds that you can record? We're going to see them. You can record both the melodic and the non-melodic. Why are we recording them? Because what one learner hears in their own surrounding may be different from what learner hears in another unified experience. So have those sounds in a recording on your phone, on a gadget. Then have learners identify and then imitate. After they imitate, then go now to the classifying. Which one is melodic, meaning you can sing to it or hum to it? Which one is non-melodic, meaning it is just beats or noise? So here are examples, excuse me, here are examples of melodic sounds. Birds singing. Most of the birds, when they make their sounds, they make melodic. They may not be a tune we can sing to, but you can hear the something like that. Then most musical instruments make melodic sounds. You can use the learner's experience of which instrument they have had. Have they had a flute being played? Have they had a piano being played? Have they had a guitar being played? So some of those instruments are melodic. However, let them remember that the drum, which they learned under the percussion, is not melodic. So you can separate the instruments. Another one is phone ringtones. The sound that the phone makes when you receive a phone call, that's a melodic sound. You can hear it. You can sing along. There's a sound. Non-melodic sounds, examples, drum beat, which they have ticking in walking frog, barking dogs, and any other sound a tune. As a teacher, you can explore with your learners the sounds at this point, and you can use it also. And I'm asking you, and I'm asking if you can write your answers in the chat of what you think. Is the sound of a siren, like the ambulance siren, is it melodic or non-melodic? The sound of an ambulance siren, is it melodic or non-melodic? Let's share what we think in the chat so that we can use that to help us see if we've understood. Also, you can play games with the learners, such as melody detective, meaning the learners learn to spot melodic sounds even out of class. Then when they come back to class, like at break time when you're releasing them, tell them, listen out to sounds. Then whoever comes back and reports, you can acknowledge them for that. The second one is like and unlike parts in a melody. Now, the reason we use these two terms at this level is because we don't want to use big words like similar and different to learners. So we use like and unlike. But just simply means in a tune, a song that sounds, sections in a song that sound the same. Those ones are called like sections. And those that are unlike are those ones that sound different. They are called unlike sections. So what do? We have learners listening orally, A-U-R-A-L-Y, to simple melodies. And I've given an example. I told you all the references I will make are to our beginning creative arts learner books. So on page 55, there is a very common Swahili song that goes like this. I have my Zoom, 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 nyukilia we. Zoom, 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 nyukilia we. Toka mbali kutafuta nzuri kwa chakula. Zoom, 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 nyukilia we. So you can either sing for the learners or teach them and have them sing it or play back in a recording. Then from there, this is a good example of the parts, the ones that sound the same. For example, zoom, 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 nyukilia we, the first line and the second line, they sound exactly the same. When you go to the third and fourth line, toka mbali kutafuta uwazuri kwa chakula, they'll sound the same. But if it's two and the third and fourth, they are unlike sections. And that is how for grade 1 learner, you take them through identifying those parts in a melody. As you can see, this is a practical thing. It is not something you will set a test on written. So it has to be practical. In 1C, there are echoing simple melodies and melodic patterns, 1C and 1D. Now, what this means, to echo means to sing along. So mwalimu, in your research, when you're preparing for this lesson, 1C, 1D, when you're preparing lessons for these specific learning outcomes, come along with simple melodies. Those ones, some are prescribed in our books, but being a teacher, even in your locality, you can look for simple melodies. All it needs is for learners to echo. Either they sing after you, or they sing after recording, or they work in pairs, one sings and the other echoes. They are developing their oral skills of hearing melodies. In grade 2, they are going to look at melodic variations. This is a continuation of what in grade 1, where they were able to see variations that let me see this, we have repetition and then we have variation. So when we have repetition, that's where we have like, where part of the sorry?
Your network is misbehaving.
Sorry?
Yeah. Just repeat.
Am I
go back a little? Yeah, yes.
To which point?
Just the statements you had said earlier, not slide.
About.
Okay, yeah.
I'm here now.
Echo, yes.
Okay. So on echo, I was saying that the learners need to develop their oral skills by hearing a melody and singing it back. So you collect as many simple melodies as you can as a teacher, and then use them to either sing for the learners to sing back, or have them work in pairs where one person sings, the other one echoes. That is a skill to be developed in 1C and 1D. And now we moved to 2, where we're talking about melodic variations. This is now grade 2. The first SLO, they are looking at melodic variations. And as said, what they had learned in grade 1 with like and unlike being the operating words, now we are introducing the word variation, where the learner will be made to understand that parts of a melody can be repeated in the exact same way, but also they can be changed to sound a little different. So it can be a complete variation or just a small variation. What they have done in grade 1, where they are echoing and will be able to help them to discern which melody sounds the same, which one sounds different. So we can have them play listening games on the spot to spot the variations in the melody. They can spot variations in rhythm. They can spot variations in the ending. So let me explain. These are 3 different things. So when they're spotting variations in the rhythm, it means if I'll use the same song I have used, which is on page 55. For example, zoom, 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 nyukili away. Zoom, 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 nyukili away. So the rhythm of that is, if I may clap, it is zoom, 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 nyukili away. Then it is repeated. Then it is varied in the third part of the melody, where the rhythm now goes toka mbali kutafuta. So the rhythm has changed. One of the best ways is to focus on the melody and not the words. So they can have melody as they are clapping to see the change in rhythm, or they can sing to a syllable sound so that they can hear rhythm change. Pitch changing from the high pitch to low pitch, ending, it doesn't end the same way the first time and the way it ended the second time. All right. So we move on to the next slide. In 2B, here is an artistic showing of how learners can use shapes to show melodic variations. The concept of shapes has been brought in, and I took a picture. One of our actually this song, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Now, because the learners have been required to use shapes to show where we have repetition, shapes where we have variations. So anywhere where the melody is repeated, they use a specific shape. For example, melody la, la, is repeated again. La, 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 shape.
Sorry,
Melody that goes la 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 la. Yes.
Your last 2 or 3 statements, kindly. Just repeat your last 2 or 3 statements. Your network was poor at that point.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, not clear. Not clear.
Mm-hmm.
Not clear at all.
Okay. I'm seeing it is on, but let me try just shifting a little.
There, fine. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So let me just repeat the whole of this, what is on your screen, that we are using shapes, an art concept, to represent melodic variations, which we have said are different. So we have a circle here representing the melody for la 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 la, and it's circle and it's red. Then we have a rectangle here representing the melody la 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 la. Both of them, the one at the second part of the song and the last part. Then we have up above the sky so high. That melody la 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 is exactly the same like this one la 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 la. So that is how learners can use shapes to show variation in a melody. And you can use any song. Simple songs are always having repetitions. Then repeat that with simple different songs that you come along. In 2C, this is also a skill that is being introduced in grade 2, and it is very important that we get it right, Mwalimu. Adding new words to an existing tune. So I'll just take you through the steps, because if a learner in grade 2 should be able to do this, what should you do as a teacher? Have the learners choose a simple, familiar tune, even if it is that Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star or any other. Then have learners brainstorm about a theme they want to sing about. Let it come from them. Do they want to sing about food or school or their home, whatever they want? Then guide them to create simple sentences. At this time, they are making sentences of how many words? 4-word sentences, 5-word sentences they bring or they suggest, make sure the syllables, to go back, we have done rhythm of words. Is coming after the two. So you will see that the rhythm of words will guide how you even make the sentences with the learners. So that while doing that, the rhythm to the original as possible. Then they can sing now the new words to the old. One of my favorite things to do with grade 2 learners, because we create a new song and they get very excited to think that actually I can make a song. So in our grade 2 book, we have used Little Star. I'll use that as an example. And we have, instead of now Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, we are talking about, hello children, how are you? We are fine, and how do you do? Here we are at school to learn. Boys and girls, come, it is fun. As we read and as we write, teachers says we got it right. And that's an example of new one that we need to start on in seriousness in grade 4. So right. I have just said use similar approaches to, but we use variations in pitch. The pitch is, let me explain, is high sounds. Of sound is pitch. So you can identify in a melody, where does it change from high pitch sounds and where does it go to low pitch sound. Then we have tempo. Tempo is the speed. Where is the song going fast? Where is the song going slow? And this, they can manipulate the song by themselves. They can tell each other, let's sing the first line fast, let's sing the second line slow, and then you talk about the experience. The volume, whose musical word is dynamics, and then of course the text, because they are also singing the words of the song apart from the tune only. So for grade 3, variation in melodic patterns will be a continuation, because if you did it well in grade 2, then in grade 3 you get it right. Then they are going to create melodic patterns using improvised percussions. This is also a new concept for grade 3 learners, where percussions, having learned in grade 1, is instrument played by hitting or shaking. In this case, we are focusing on hitting. So what is expected of a grade 3 learner is to be able to create patterns using improvised percussions. How do we improvise? We are going to use objects that are traditionally not used as instruments, but we can improvise them. An example and a good one prescribed for us in the design and in our book of water. And to make it interesting for grade 3 learners, you can use water with food colors that you see the different colors. Then another way is to use
Sorry, Delphine. You have gone mute.
Am I still here?
Try again.
Am I still here?
I can't trace you. Okay, yes. Your
I'm
screen
here.
is back. Yeah, your voice
Okay.
is going on.
Am I there?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. What, you can see the picture that I'm...
Yeah, we can see bottles and xylophone, I believe.
You can see the bottles?
Yes,
Okay.
the bottles
Okay.
and the xylophone, yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. So I was saying, these are improvised percussions that are used to make melodies. So we have the bottles with different amounts of water, and you can also have, if you can get planks of wood that are of different length. I have used a xylophone to demonstrate what that means. So you get wood the same size but at different lengths, so that when you hit any of them, whether you're using bottles or you're using the wood, when you hit them at different, each of them different times, they will play a melody, or they will play different pitches that the learners can hear, that you're changing from high to low. A good idea is to get pre-recordings of these videos of such, so that the learners can see exactly what it means. So what you do with them is arrange the items according to their pitch and strike each one separately to determine how to position them. Then, just to create a melody, we are not creating anything specific, just a tune from one pitch to another. Let the learners just keep striking the objects in different ways. Then experiment with repetition, meaning you hit the same bottle more than once. Then variation, you hit different bottles at different times and use different rhythmic patterns, and you have a melodic percussion improvisation. Walimu as possible, so that even when they are tested on it in a written assessment, they can recall, because bottles are often used in a written assessment, and the question usually which one will produce the high pitch, which one will produce the low pitch. At this point, let me just explain. When you hit, the one with a lot of water will produce a low pitch, but when you blow, the one with a lot of water will produce a high pitch. That is how different they are. When you hit, the one with a lot of water will be low pitch. When you blow, the one that was low pitch when you hit it, now when you blow it, it will be high pitch. And the vice versa is also true. Performance directions. These are also grade 3 learners are expected to know. These are instructions about how to sing. If they tell you performance directions about tempo, they are telling you how fast or how slow to sing. If there are performance directions about dynamics, they are telling you how loud or soft to sing. So those are the two prescribed for grade 3 learners. How fast should a song be? How slow should a song be? Which songs are sung fast? Which songs are sung slow? Which songs are sung loud? Which songs are sung soft? So grade 3 learners have to know the performance directions for tempo, which is speed, and dynamics, which is volume. Anytime they're performing, whether in class or outside, encourage them to follow those directions. Please do not go beyond the scope. Once more, 4A, we are on the final grade, which is 4. The learners are supposed to identify solfa syllables in a simple melody. Now, at this point is where we review the definition of melody from the tune of a song, which was simple for grade 1, 2, and 3. And now we are defining it as a pattern or a sequence of different pitches arranged to a rhythm to make a tune. So the word tune is still there, only that now we are introducing a sequence of pitches. Having learned in previous grades that do high sounds and low sounds, now you tell the learners that the pitches used in melodies are known as solfas. Now they have attached a name to it. It is not just no longer high and low. Now they know it is solfa. And the solfa pitches are arranged from the lowest to the highest by step. The scope for grade 4 only the first 3. And I bring an AB, avoid the temptation to go beyond. We know it is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, but limit the learners to do, re, mi. When you do this, you realize how difficult it is for them to sing do, re, mi, do, mi, re, mi, do. So anytime you point at re, they will make it sound like do. So we don't want to introduce fa and so until they can sing do, re, and mi properly. So these are the ones we are focusing on. Do, re, mi, do, re, mi, do, re. Use variation, whichever sequence you want to use, make sure they can sing each of them properly. One of the things I insist on is they sing the correct pitch for each solfa. And I usually tell them, use this analogy. If your name is Jen and I call you Lois, will you respond? No, is not Lois. Your name is Jen. So do should always sound like do, and re should sound like re. So don't make it So an activity to reinforce this is to sing the three pitches ascending and descending and at random, which I've already done. Then let them sing simple songs. Here are examples of songs that are based on only these three solfèges. There are not many, but they are there. For example, the most common one is Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb, mi re do re mi re re mi re do re mi do re mi re do. Then we have rain, rain go away, which goes do re mi re do, and any others. You can also come up with your own simple melodies to reinforce this. Remember, they are being required to identify solfèges in simple songs. So have them sing, have them hum the tune, and then have them sing the solfèges. Always finish with singing of solfèges because that is what is required. Then we have hand signs. We always wonder why hand signs. Now, hand signs are just a tool to help visualize pitches, and they are called hand signs because they are named after the person who introduced this as a way of teaching pitch, so that teaching music, so that the learner can identify pitch with a specific hand position. So let's also not ignore this. So how are these done? Do is a fist held at tummy level. I don't know if you can see. Do, let me put a picture, you may not see my video. So this is do, a fist, and it is at tummy level, like directly where your navel is. Okay, that's the positioning. Then re is slanting upwards slightly above do. Then mi is a flat palm facing, that is mi. So once they sing the solfèges, they have also to do the hand signs. Okay, hand signs for the three solfèges. After that, they will have to create a melody. A good melody has these qualities. We are keeping to the scope and we are only using these ones. A good melody begins on do. I have written in brackets. What I've written in brackets is for your benefit. I also begin on mi, but not on re. So, but for the learner, let's insist that they begin their melodies on do. When they get to higher grades, we will introduce them to the other solfèges they can use. So begin on do. Then move by step from one solfège to another. There are only 3 notes. If you're moving from do, you can always go to re. If you're moving from re, you can always go to mi. If you are at mi, you can step back to re and then to do. That is another quality of a good melody. It moves by step from one solfège to another. You can repeat solfèges, repetition, which they have learned in previous grades. So you can have do, 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 re. So before you move to re, you have repeated do 3 times. Then has variation. Variation now is where you introduce that new note. In this case, I've introduced re. So do, do, re, re, do, do. Okay, so variation is changing from one solfège to another. Then the last quality is ends on do. I usually tell my learners that if you leave home in the morning, it doesn't matter where you go, whether you go to Kiambu, to Mombasa, to wherever, at the end of the day, you will always go back home, or at the end of your trip. So creating a melody is like going on a trip. You can go elsewhere, you can go back home and take some water, but leave again. But at the end, make sure you go back home. So a good melody ends on do. Then identify, have the learners identify these qualities in the simple melodies. Use these qualities as a guide for the learners to create. I've already demonstrated when I was explaining the previous slide that do, as you're taking them through the qualities, take them through the through the creation process. Colleagues, our time is fast spent. However, Naima, with your permission, I can just say something about rounds, which was requested in the last webinar, very fast.
Yes, Delphine?
That is okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, very fast. I think I have only 4 slides of the same, then my conclusion. So a round song. Somebody asked about rounds. Now, they are written as rounds in our designs and in our books, but I want you to think of it as a type of song. Type of song, and the reason it's called round is because of how it is sung. It is sung by 2 or more groups or voices singing the same song or the same melody, but each group starts at a different time. Now, this round song is introduced as in grade 3 as a way of introducing harmony. Harmony is a concept learners will learn at higher grades. But even when you want to teach learners to sing in different voices, which we call harmony, round songs is a good place to start. So you'll explain to them that they'll start the song at the same time. They'll sing the same song, but start at different times. Then they will hear when the voices overlap, it sounds beautiful. So at that point, you can tell them that overlapping is called harmony, although it's not a concept they need to understand. They just need to do it. So this is how we introduce. Now here is my example, and I came with some teaching aids. You will not see their faces, but you will hear their voices. We want to do easy round songs. I have given 4 examples, and the first example is Row, Row, Row Your Boat. The song we know, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Then there is London's burning, London's burning. Then there is the common one, baby Jesus, baby Jesus. And then there is white sand and gray sand. So round songs can be done in groups of 2 or in groups of 3. So today we're doing a round song in groups of 3. You will hear our voices, you will not see our faces. All right. So what we'll do, we'll start unison, and then I will be the first voice round, then my teaching aid will be the second, and my third teaching aid will be the third. Okay. So we're singing baby Jesus in unison, then we break. Baby Jesus, I love you, I love you, you are my savior every day, baby Jesus, baby Jesus, I love you, I love you, every day, every day, every day, every day. All right, and then here is white sand and gray sand. This one we're just going to go straight into the round. Okay, white sand and gray sand. Who will buy my white sand? Who will buy my gray sand? White sand and gray sand. Who will buy my gray sand? Who will buy my gray sand? And that's an example of round songs. Do that with children in your classes. That is all the concept they need. Now, I have put it here. Swahili music traditionally does not follow the round structure. Someone asked me, which Swahili songs can I use? So I tried to research. They traditionally don't follow the round structure, but you can use simple Swahili songs that are repetitive and try to sing them as rounds. Or you can set Kiswahili words to common round songs and sing it. Like these ones, replace white sand and gray sand with something else and sing it in Kiswahili and have the learners sing Kiswahili songs. So start by singing in unison as we had done. Divide learners into 2 or 3 groups. Guide them using hand signals on who should. Here I gave instructions before, but I was also using hand signals to cue in my voices. And then insist. Now this is the most important part. that each learner keeps to their voice part, or each group, that is if they're singing in groups, so that they are not carried by others. And they should not close their ears when they are singing, because they need to hear each other. There's usually a tendency for them to close their ears because the other group is making them confused. Let them hear and keep to their tune. The one who started first can start last. The one who was in the middle can be first, so that they hear the different ways they blend. Turn it into a competition. Which group best? Then you can use hand claps. Please record the learners and play back so that they hear how they sound. Record
Sorry, Delphine.
When you
Hi, Delphine. Sorry, Delphine, pause.
Just
Pause. Your network is not clear at all, at all. Today has been that day on your side. Delphine, can you hear me? Okay, teachers, we really apologize for that. We know that internet has been unstable on our presenter's side, but we hope that next time we shall do better than that. Our apologies. Delphine? Okay, thank you so much, teachers. I know Delphine was concluding her presentation by taking us through the rounds. And as much as it wasn't very clear, we have heard how she and her team have done the 2 rounds. So thank you so much. Geoffrey, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Naima.
Okay, our dear teachers, I would like now to welcome my colleague, Geoffrey, just to tell us 1 or 2 things, then we shall be ending this webinar in a short while. Geoffrey, karibu.
Asante sana. Thank you, Naima, for coordinating this webinar and just catching up with what we have learned today. I must appreciate that as a teacher of social studies, I have also learned a lot about music and about physical health. Mwalimu Maina initially giving us tips on how to incorporate PHE in creative arts and the kind of examples on how we can approach our teaching skills in class and outside class. And also, Mwalimu, my good friend Delphine, and how she's coming with music, giving us ideas on how to approach the learning area, reminding us that we don't need to go beyond the scope. We need to remain within the scope for every grade. And also, we are giving us melodic and non-melodic sounds. I think from here, we can attempt to be better teachers of creative arts. And I believe Naima is going to coordinate more of these webinars. We need your feedback because we are using authors who have authority in these creative arts activities and sports. And we believe as a company that empowering you, you'll be better teachers. And apart from that, you need to use resources that you can now utilize in your classrooms and outside classrooms. And as a company, we are the leading when it comes to creative arts and sports because we are approved right from PP1 all the way to grade 8. And we believe your interaction with our authors and our teachers and our teachers who are authors will give us an opportunity to even become better teachers. So I would wish just to take you through in another 5 or so minutes through our products so that as you leave this webinar today, you are aware of the kind of products that Moran Publishers has been able to publish, so that you can interact with our books out there. You can ask your schools to purchase these materials for you so that you become better teachers. So if you look at the slide that is there, we are approved in PP1 and PP2, and our course for that level is First Steps Creative Arts, PP1 and PP2, with very clear illustrations. The illustrations take 90% of the pages in those books. So these images and illustrations are visible for our learners at that age. They're able to relate with those illustrations, and that makes them have interest in this learning area. We were told the foundation of creative arts, the interest should be created at the PP1 and PP2 level as they transit into grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. So for lower primary, we are calling it creative arts activities, because we have seen our teachers struggling with these titles. And then for primary, it is creative arts without activities there. And then as you go to junior secondary or junior school, it is creative arts and sports. So it's better for you to understand that, so that you can distinguish when you are making your orders for the books. So for grade 1, 2, and 3, beginning creative arts, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3, all approved by KICD. You move to grade 4, 5, and 6, beginning creative arts, a very interesting series with very clear illustrations, with activities that are engaging for the learners, again, approved by KICD. And then for grade 7, 8, and 9, beginning creative arts and sports, again, all that is approved by KICD, and this gives our learners an opportunity also to advance with the same series without going to another publisher. So we want to encourage our teachers, when you are using these books, please ensure you're using our series right from PP1 all the way to grade 9. We're using teachers who are seasoned in these learning areas. We are using tutors at the TTC where teachers are trained, so that when you have these materials with you, when you're using them in your class, we want to see our learners becoming better than us as we are giving them these instructions. When you look at our approvals across other learning areas, again, teachers, it's important to mention to you, you can share this information with your colleagues in school. We are again approved in all the learning areas in ECD. We are approved in language, Kiswahili, mathematics, environmental, and CRE. All those areas, Moran Publishers is approved. Grade 1 to grade 3, skills in English, studies Kiswahili, enjoy mathematics, beginning creative, our faith theory, our world environmental activities, we are approved in all those learning areas. Same to grade 4. Now here you include science and technology, social studies, and beginning agriculture. Grade 5 and 6, still the same. Again, we are approved in all the learning areas, creative arts, agriculture, mathematics, science and technology, studies Kiswahili, skills in English, social studies, our world, our faith theory. Grade 5, 6, and again, as you advance to grade 7 and 8, it's the same. Approved in all the languages, approved in theory, mathematics, science, agriculture, pre-technical. The same for grade 8, the same for grade 9. So teachers, we are not just a publisher like any other publisher. We are the publisher with a lot of information that before we write the books, we carry out research. We pick on the best teachers out there who come up with the manuscripts that our publishing department look at, guide the teachers, and the teachers come out with materials that are friendly and are easy to use in class with your learners. So from the publishing team, we say thank you for coordinating these trainings. Thank you for picking teachers who have mastered this CBC and who have quickly also adopted to the rationalization of the curriculum and have come up with materials that are effective and when well utilized, our learners will be better students. We have the CBC Atlas, both for grade 4, 5, and 6. And also recently, we got the approval for the Junior School Atlas for those who take social studies. We understand we have head teachers here. We have school administrators here in this training. This is information that is good for our institutions. We also have just released the science charts for those who take science. We have the science charts for grade 4, 5, and 6. They are in 2 volumes. The junior school science chart is also printing. These are materials that we wish you have them in your schools, because we are saying we are the people who understand this curriculum. And before we publish any material, we do research and we attend to the needs of the teachers, learners, and parents. So from the publishing team and from the marketing team, thank you teachers for joining us. Please follow us on Facebook, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on TikTok. We are there. We are updating you on our next webinar because we need you to follow us so that we can be able to connect with you and to upskill you in how to handle this rationalized curriculum. Thank you very much, and God bless you all, and enjoy your Friday. I know today ni ile siku ya kupumzika. I know you're going to enjoy music when you go to those night church evenings, the keshas, and for those who partake the Ruaraka waters, please listen to that music and remember that what we have been taught today is found in churches and it is found also the other side of the world. Asanteni sana, back to you, Naima, and receive greetings from Isumu City, where they have been following the lessons today. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Geoffrey, for talking to our teachers and introducing who Moran is and what Moran does. Teachers, we are your publisher of choice. Our work here on earth is to improve the lives of those learners so that they do not miss on the purpose that God has for their lives. And we know that you are important stakeholders and partners in doing this. And why we hold these webinars is so that we may do it right together. So thank you so much for this session. And once again, I apologize for the hitches we have encountered, and we shall address that in our next webinars. This is not our last. We shall have many other webinars very soon. We shall now move to grade 5 and 6 to discuss melody, rhythm, and pitch in grade 5 and 6. So when we call on you again, please be kind to come. Thank you for coming. This one, as I had said in the beginning, this webinar is organized by Moran Publishers as one way of partnering with you teachers and schools and educators all over to teach our learners so that they can attain that which they're supposed to attain. We are doing this to serve the community. We are doing this so that our learners can achieve their life goals. We are doing this as one way of partnering with the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, that our learners should be empowered for self-employment, for self-sustainability, and also our government is right behind that. So thank you for coming. And on behalf of all the other presenters, if you are there, Delphine, Paul, kindly come on board. You can activate your screen. You can activate your video so that we can give our teachers a very good goodbye. So yeah, Paul is there. Lijodi, okay, sawa. So, Lijodi, kindly pray for our teachers, even as we wind up this webinar. We just do the grace, and then we shall meet again. Teachers, continue talking to us. Our email address is on the screen. Our telephone number is on the screen. And if you have any other need, please talk to us. If you'd like us to address something else in our next webinar, which we shall be calling on very soon, please just write to us so that we can directly address your concerns. Lijodi, now it's your turn to pray.
Thank you, Naima. We appreciate your coordination. And now I think we can close with the grace. And now for the grace
of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you so much, our teachers. Naima
Thank you,
was
Naima,
coming
for
to you
coordination.
right from Moran Publishers, Judah Complex, here on Wangari Maathai Road. You are welcome to walk in. Goodbye, Walimu. Thank you, Mwalimu Omari.